Well, good October 7th to everyone. Hope you're doing great. We are in Mark 5 today. The other day when I taught, I don't remember exactly what day it was, but I talked about the suggestion of contradiction of the different variations of the parables. So I wanted to make sure that you guys had a link today's parable. Let me get my Bible turned to the right place with the dramatics. Could seem that they contradict one another. So I included a link there for that. So make sure you see that information. I'm not going to teach through that, but I thought it was really important to address it since I had brought it up recently. And then also never understood, and I'm not really sure even this quote from Enduring Word does it for me, but I did include it. Why the pigs had to be, you know, okay, so why did they have to be thrown off the cliff? I know that they had the evil in them, but I don't know. I didn't understand the whole pig thing. I need to study deeper, obviously. But anyways, I put a quote there as well. All right, so, wow, this is one of those things where I was like, never noticed it, but it makes me think. And I really honestly don't even know how long our lesson's going to be today because I don't have an answer. I really don't have. Here, let's just start. Okay. Am I afraid at the power of God? And I chose the word at because when I say the power of God, to me, this is my mind in choosing this two-letter word instead of. When I think of, it's something that I am experiencing myself, the power of God in me. That's how I would use that phrase. But what the people saw was the power of God. So at the power of God means something. And this is why I use this word. This might not make sense to y'all, but this is where my mind went to the madness of it was, they saw the power of God at work. So, and maybe I should have put the power of God at work. Maybe I should have put that, but I didn't. So I just want to explain why I'm using that word. All right. Now let me go to this quote. When people are more afraid of what Jesus will do in their lives than what Satan did in the moment, they often push him away. So my question is, am I able to accept the things Satan is doing better than I accept what God can do? And what is my response when I see God do the miraculous? Now, yes, David's quote says, in their lives, which would mean the power of God in my life. But I also want us to truly think about these people and their situation, because it says that they were afraid after they saw the demoniac be free. They had seen him, and maybe even not seen him physically, but heard of him, and maybe even tried to avoid him. And, he was the story probably that legends were made of because he lived in the tombs. And then all of a sudden, he's calm. He's clothed. He's sitting perfectly sane with Jesus. Never noticed. And they were all afraid. Why is that? Like I said, I don't know the answer to that question. Why were they more afraid? And and maybe I should have looked up the Greek origin of that word. Maybe there's that afraid is more of a reverent fear. Perhaps it is, and maybe I should look it up. And if I had my phone sitting right here, I would do that right with y'all, but I don't have my phone with me. So that's a possibility as I'm sitting here talking it out with y'all, that's possible that it was a reverent fear. But often we see God working in someone else's life and or maybe even experience the power of God in our life or the power of God at work in someone else's life, and we don't know what to do with that. We don't. For years, I grew up not really talking about the power of God other than being saved. Spirit of God saves you. Period. The end. That's all I ever heard. So anything out of the boundaries of salvation, anything of the Spirit dealing with outside of the realm of salvation, I didn't get. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand, and there's still a lot I don't understand. But I'm a member now of a church that definitely is Spirit filled. It welcomes the Spirit's presence. It welcomes the Spirit's work, and believes in the power the Spirit has when it's with the Word together. Something, and I love the way I was brought up, but it was something that we just did not talk about in our church. And because of that, I became a little cynical, maybe. Yeah. Rude. Yeah. Judgmental. Yeah. Of those that were outside of the definition of spirit and power that I understood. So as I've grown in my faith and have had personal moments with the presence of God where I felt His Spirit at work in me, I'm like, oh, okay. The gears are starting to turn. The people could live more comfortably with a demon-possessed man than a former demon-possessed man peacefully at the feet of Jesus. The people pushed him away. So, bottom line is, Jesus won't stay where He is not welcomed. Spirit will not work powerfully and what word am I looking for? Miraculously. Yeah, I don't really like that word. I mean, I like that word, but not in my example. We're not going to witness. We will not be participants of Spirit's work if we continue to push Him away and not welcome Him. We don't see miracles in our life. We don't experience the power of God. We don't, and I don't mean like raising the dead. I mean like the power of the Word of God working in tandem with the Spirit of God in our life. Just that alone, we don't experience that because we've not welcomed Him. And He's not going to stay where He's not welcome. And He didn't. He just left. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, you don't want me around, I'm leaving. So how do I respond to the power of God at work in me or at the power of God at work in someone else? Would I rather have chaos and confusion and misunderstanding and misinterpretation and dead faith? Or would I rather have the exact opposite of that and have fellowship with him at his feet? Like I said, I don't have a lot of answers here, just a lot of things to think about. Sometimes lessons are like that. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.